So a video that came to mind the other day to me, and I looked online, I couldn't find any good videos on this, but with me doing the stainless tubing lately here at home, I did some experimenting and some testing with all the different size cups I got. These are all Furic cups. This is a 12, this is a 16, I think they call this one the BB Dub, and then this one is the 19, the new one he just came out with, which is the SSBB Dub. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna do a video showing the difference in these cups and what the end result is. I'm gonna do one with the 12, one with the 16, and one with the 19, and then I'm gonna do those three on my positioner so you guys can see what they look like. And then this last one, I'm gonna do here in my vise, just turning it with the 19. Just so you guys can see, like, okay, this is the cup I should buy. I shouldn't buy this cup. Because really, these cups are not that expensive, and I have had great luck with these. I've dropped, this 12 has been used a bunch. I've dropped it, and it's never broke. I got a couple of these. But these cups are like $20, $25 on his website. And, you know, it sounds expensive for a cup, but like at the end of the day, they're very high quality. The other thing I'm gonna go over is he sends you this little chart when you buy a cup from him. And it's basically, you know, your gas flows that you need for different materials. And, you know, all these cups are only designed for DC, and they're only designed for low amperage. So I'm not sure about the 12, what it's actually designed for, because it's got a different design on it than the bigger ones. But I'm gonna say, you know, these things probably need to be kept around 100 or less amps. So on the 12, we're just gonna run the standard. We're gonna run 30 CFH. On the 16, we're gonna bump it up to like 40. And then on the 19, we're gonna bump it up to like 45 to 50. That's a lot of gas, I get it, but I wanna see how the weld actually looks when you run that cup at what it's designed for. You know, he's saying here with the BB Dub, the 16, you should be anywhere from 40 to 45. So we're gonna run it at 40 and see what it does. And then the 12, we're gonna run it at 30 because he got 30 to 35. And we'll just see how. Something else that I'm gonna throw out there is after each weld, I'm gonna let this piece cool all the way down. I'm not gonna quench it in water. I'm not gonna do any of that. I'm just gonna let it cool down naturally. And then, you know, when the piece is cool to the touch, we'll do the next weld. And when we get done, you know, I'm anxious to see here what the end result is. If there is a difference from the BB Dub to the SSBB Dub, because a lot of the guys I follow online and stuff, they always just use the BB Dub on stainless tubing. So I wanna see, you know, if it's worth running more gas flow, if it's not worth running more gas flow. I'm just kind of anxious. You know, obviously if this was titanium, yeah, you'd want to run the big one, but it's just stainless steel. So we'll see what happens. I got a back purge set up here. I'm only running about 10 CFH on my back purge, and we're going to get this thing chucked up in the positioner and, you know, start welding these out, and we'll see what happens here. So the first one here, we're going to run it out. We got the number 12 on the torch, about, you know, 3/4 of an inch stick out, pretty standard for this kind of work. I got the CFH on the cup at 30 CFH, and the machine set on 60 amps. It seems to be what I need on this stuff to get full penetration. I'm not really worried about that, but we're gonna weld them like we would. I ran out of 045 wire. 045 wire, from what I've learned, from my good buddy Corey Misko, is 045 works the best on this stuff. I got 035. It's a little bit weird. It's hard to handle, but I do got some 16ths, so I'm just going to run that. So the welds aren't going to be exactly perfect like I'd like them, but we're going to see what happens here. So in my opinion, yeah, that weld's dark. Is it okay? Yeah. It's fine, but it is a little bit dark. So we're going to let this piece cool down. We're gonna change the cup over to the BB Dub, the 16, and we're gonna turn it up to 40 CFH, and we're gonna make the next weld, and we're gonna see how it does. So piece is cool to the touch. It's not hot. Go ahead and we're going to switch over and do this next one. So the color is a little bit better on that one. Still don't think it's perfect, but it's pretty close. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. But we're going to go ahead now and let this cool down again, switch it over to the bigger cup and try it. So we're nice and cool again. No heat in it. The 19 on there. I got the gas flow set at 50, and we're going to weld this next one and see what happens. And that's why you run the bigger cup. I mean, look how nice that color is on that weld. It's perfect, in my opinion. Got a nice straw color. It's very clean. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and let this cool down again. We'll get it up in the case here, and we'll do one by just rolling it for anybody that's wondering. I've had guys say, well, I don't have a positioner, so it's not really helping me, so I'm gonna start including that in all my videos when I do stuff like this. So we'll go ahead and get that set up now and move forward. So we got the piece cooled down. It's cool to the touch. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna do this and roll it so you guys can kind of see how I do it if I didn't have a positioner. I'm gonna try to get the camera positioned to where it's not really in my way, but it's going to be kind of tough. But we'll see how it turns out. Something else I should probably throw out there, that needs adjusted, but you can run about an inch of stick out on this bigger cup. So I feel like that really kind of shows off that cup. I mean, color's nice. You can always see, it seems like no matter what you do, you know, you can always kind of see that the color gets real rainbowy like that, which some guys really like that. Me personally, I like when they're all the same color. So if I can roll them out on when, you know, when I'm doing them, I try to always roll them out. Sometimes you can't, you know what I mean? But it seems like no matter what you do, you're always gonna have one you're gonna have to do on the bench, and that's just what it's gonna look like. Now, I mean, the root in there, I'll untape it here in a second and show you guys. I mean, I don't know how good it's gonna look. I think it's probably gonna look pretty good, but I do find that when I run them on the bench like this, it's easier for me to drive that root in there, being gravity's helping you out. But let's go ahead here and untape this and see how the inside looks. It's kind of hard to see there, but it's really clean, good penetration. The camera makes it look a little dark, but it is white. It's very shiny. I found that on your restarts, you almost need to, when you come and you stop, you need to start back about a 1/4 inch and wait for that material to liquefy and then move forward. It's just a trick I learned years ago from an older guy that I used to work with a lot, doing like Schedule 10 piping. You'd get them little dimples in there where you could see all your start and stops, and if you just went back a little bit and consumed all that, it's gone. But I think that pretty much sums this up. I mean, you guys can see, I mean, this was the 12, the 16, and then these two both were with the 19, and you can see how just the difference there in the quality. Now, something I probably should try is I should probably try to do one like this with just the 16 and see if it turns out the same, because if it does, then if I was doing them in position and I could get away with running a little bit less gas, I would do that. But rolling them out, I think you need the bigger cup. I do have one of the trailing cups coming here soon that I'm going to be doing a video on and a test and a review, and that might actually be my go-to for doing these on a positioner if I can. It's one of the all-in-one trailing cups, so we're going to do a full video on that. But you know, I've never used one, so I'm kind of anxious to try it, and it seems like, you know, he's telling me that I need to run about 50 CFH on it. And that's about the same as I'm running on that 19. So if you're going to be running the same gas flow and it's easy to handle it, that's the one thing I'm not sure if it's going to make the torch heavy or, you know, if it's going to be weird. But if you can get this same result with it and run the same gas flow, I feel like it would be a little bit more forgiving than the cup, but we'll see. But yeah, I just ran them all. That was 60 amps with the prime weld machine. You guys can see there how good that machine starts and everything at these low amperages. 332 tungsten, and you know, the rest is in the video. But hope that helps somebody. I think this will be a good video. So y'all have a great day, and like and subscribe.